everyone, and welcome to another backstage interview from the Metals Investor Forum. Thanks for taking the time to dive into another story a little bit more deeply with me. The story that we're looking at right now is Empress Royalty, and I'm very grateful to have Alexa Sherron here to run through a bunch of things that have happened with the stock since the conference, which was a month ago now, and you've been very busy. So let's talk about sort of what's happened. I mean, there was one significant piece of news that came out a week ago or so about a new acquisition of yours in Mozambique. So why don't we start there?
Absolutely, thank you. Great to be here again. So our first African deal we just announced yesterday, and that was the acquisition of for $2 million, a 2.25% royalty on the Manica project in Mozambique. This is a great example of the relationship with Endeavour Financial and able to bring this project online for Empress. And this one should be in production in Q3 2021. So we're expecting revenue from this hopefully in October, November.
Okay, I mean, that's fantastic. Can you talk a little bit about the scale of that revenue? I like to ask that because it's very hard in general to value royalty companies, all these long dated things and different types of royalties and whatnot. So let's talk about, you're paying $2 million. What are you getting for that? Let's try and help people understand that just a little bit.
No, absolutely. So the IRR in this one that we're getting is 37%. The cash flow from this annually will be $1.2 million US. So the payback for us is about 1.5 years. And then this royalty will go forward. There's currently a 3-year mine plan, but that's just in one part of the deposit where there's 3 other possible extensions. So this should be hopefully a long-term one for us, working closely with the team there.
Cool. Okay. Now, the other thing that sort of happened since the conference, it was already in play when we had the Metals Investor Forum. Empress's share price went on a very impressive share price run in your first few months of existence there, and has in the last few weeks stepped back a bit. And it's not surprising to me. One thing that I talk to investors about all the time is how many different forces there are that push junior company share prices around, and certainly free trade dates from financings is one of them, and that is in play here for sure. Why don't you speak a little bit to what's happening from here, or sort of like from where you sit, how that share price run felt, and where you think you're going from here?
Yeah, for us, it's really, we've been focused on getting and building our portfolio. So we're, again, revenue focused and doing the Manica one with revenue coming in this year, and obviously quite a bit more next year has been key for us. The Pinos project should be in production next year, bringing in more revenue. We're close on another one right now. We're hopefully going to be signing a stream agreement shortly on another deal that we're bringing revenue in. And when we look at our pipeline, originally, when we talked a month ago, we had about $50 million US of potential deals we were looking at. That's increased to 75 million. So we're really building up that pipeline. 2 of those hopefully will drop soon, and those are both in production. So we're really focused on production, which again brings revenue to the company, and hopefully very shortly we can establish a dividend policy for our shareholders.
Well, that would be exciting for sure. In the grand scheme of trying to value royalty companies, the clear dividing line is those that return money to shareholders versus those that aren't ready to do so yet. So if you can get there in short order, that would be a distinguishing characteristics for sure.
And I think that's very much part of where we're focused. We are looking for those producing assets. So there are the ones that just need that little bit of extra capital to get into production or to expand on what they have. So for us, we're very, very focused on the creation of being able to get them into revenue production for us.
The Manica asset was a good example, like you say, of your relationship with Endeavour Financial. There's another deal that was just announced today, which is Telson is doing a big financing package to get an asset that they've been slowly trying to build for quite a few years into production. And Empress is involved in that. So do you want to speak a little bit about the Tahueto asset?
Yeah. Absolutely. That one's fantastic for Telson. We're so happy for them. So this is one where it is a great example of a creation of a silver stream. We're coming alongside Ascendo Banco, who's providing a $12 million US loan. There's been an equity raise of $8 million, and then Empress is coming in for a $5 million silver stream. So again, it really shows how these partnerships and these strategic alliances work to get these companies going and get into production.
Yeah, for sure. And I've been talking to the team at Ascendo a little bit about that deal because I was interested in it on the financing side. And I mean, that group has been following the Telson, what they'll say as opportunity for years now, and really diving in. So that to me, it certainly highlighted the value of those relationships for Empress, which is why I liked your company in the first place, but it sort of reinforced that, it felt like.
No, it's been amazing working with it, and it's it's Ascendo, it's sorry, Endeavor, working with Trafigura. It's been a really it's been fantastic to see what they've been able to put together there, and we'll, hopefully they'll be in production in short order as well.
For sure. So let's talk about, I mean, you say $75 million in potential deals in the pipeline. That's a pretty significant number. What would you say you hope to or think you can accomplish in 2021? I mean, $75 million is a very big number, and certainly more than you have in the bank right now to deploy. So maybe just talk a little bit about the strategy, the scale of what you would like to try and bite off, and how you would finance that going forward.
So the investments are looking at 75 million. I would say 90% of them are already in production. A few of them are close to production. So we've really focused the team on looking for production assets. Again, it's part of the package of everything else that's coming together. So we're not in a competitive bid process trying to acquire third-party royalties. And for us, it's the $1 million to $10 million size. So as we go through and review these and we look at the technical aspects of the project, which is obviously critical to all of this, and the management team, that shakes some out, that advances other ones. And then we're going through the exclusivity, hopefully on 2 of those shortly. And those will probably be the first ones we'll deploy some additional capital into.
Gotcha. And there would need to be financing, I'm sure, to fund these moves. What's your sense of interest in, I mean, the royalty space has been a hot and exciting place for investors to participate in, for exposure to precious metals in particular for the last little while. Is that still the sense you get when you're contemplating the financing that would be needed to buy into these new assets?
Yeah, I think I've heard a lot. There's been a lot of other competitors coming to market, especially, over the summer and the fall, a lot of new entrants into the space. I think it's great. Investors have more choice of how they want to invest in the royalty and streaming space. For us, we're talking with our strategic partners, our strategic institutional investors. We've got a lot of support from them. I'm, very much current with all of them to state an additional financing going forward to raise capital for these investments that we're looking at. As well as in the brokerage community, there's definitely been some other deals done recently, and there definitely seems to be that support. And I think people understand the value of the royalty and streaming investment. Cool.
Well, thanks for taking us through. I mean, it's been a busy month for you since the conference, and it doesn't sound like it's slowing down anytime soon. So we're going to have to touch base again in a month or two, and see what else there is to talk about then.
Thanks so much, Gwen. I really appreciate your time.